Hello everyone and welcome to Dovetail Direct's Spring 2024. Now I'm Alex, I'm the community manager here at Dovetail and I'm joined by the wonderful Matt Pedleston, our executive producer of Trains in World.
Hey everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about tons of loads of new announcements, loads of fun things, but not just for Train Sim World, for all of our franchises. Train Sim Classic, we'll also be joined by the View app team to talk about City Transport Simulator Trams, and our senior community manager Ben will join us to talk about Catan Console Edition as well. So you got trains, you got city trams, you got Catan, you got everything all in one. But for the Train Sim World 4 fans here, don't worry, there will be new announcements, new routes to showcase, new locos to talk about. So I'm excited. We're going to be sharing our Train Sim World 4 monthly roadmap after the stream is over. So lots to talk about, loads to discuss. And yeah, let's get into it, Matt. So starting on Train Sim World, we're gonna talk about a few things just before we jump into the new announcements. And the first is that Festival of Rail is coming to an end tomorrow. And what that means is if you haven't had a chance to check out all of the sales across Steam, make sure to do that before it ends, especially because Peninsula Corridor for Steam users will be free to keep. So if you own any variant of Train Sim World, be it Train Sim World 2020, 2, 3, or 4, you can actually keep Peninsula Corridor for yours forever. So be sure to check that out. Make sure to not miss out on any of the deals. Alongside, earlier on Thursday with the Festival of Rail kicking off, we had our major core update to Train Sim World. This had a huge range of core improvements, including free roam fixes, scoring and medals improvements, also improved PIS brightness for visibility in day and night. We had the option to disable the traction lock icon on the mini HUD as well as a bunch of different route improvements for Blackpool, Midland Main Line, Mayntelbarn, Birmingham Cross City. You can check out all of the patch notes and descriptions on our forums if you'd like. But alongside this, we also had a brilliant new free remaster to the West Somerset Railway route. Now, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit more about that remastering?
Yeah, so the remaster of the West Somerset Railroad has been a passion project for 2 or 3 members of the team. To started out with what can we do to improve the gameplay and get more diverse trains, using some of the more modern trains, particularly the steam locos, and then it evolved into upgrading the route to Todd 4, and then it evolved into scenery upgrades and sound upgrades, and so there's a number of people who have been involved in this, and the end result is spectacular. It was always a really fun route to drive. It's a nice, relaxing pace journey, but now it's just so pretty, and you can take your favorite steam engines on there as well. So yeah, absolutely love it. Really thrilled to see it, and looking forward to seeing what people think. Actually, it's well worth visiting the West Somerset again.
Yeah, and if you haven't had the chance to visit the West Somerset, well, if we check out here, we've got a lovely graphic which shows that the West Somerset Railway itself is 80% off, and you can get up to 60% off on all of the relevant add-ons you want to kind of build up the variety of that timetable and kind of make the most of that free remastery that we've done in the latest update. But that's not all. Aside from that, we've also got a Train Sim World player survey, which if you want the link to it, you can find it in the description. And this is really to get your general feedback and opinions for the future of Train Sim World. We want to know from you, from our passionate audience, what is it you want to see from Train Sim World in the future? Features that you either love or maybe not like so much. So be sure to give us your feedback on that. And the link to that player survey will be in the description. So check that out. And one final thing, we have Formation Designer going into an open beta. So we want to mention briefly here, alongside our announcement earlier in the week, that this is going to be for Steam-only players to get an early look at Formation Designer. Now, this is a new feature that, Matt, I know you have a lot to talk about, but part of the reason we're bringing it into that open beta is because there is a really massive amount, thousands of combinations of different wagons that you can put together in a single formation, and really it's kind of an impossible challenge to try and test all the different variants. So it's good to kind of get the community involved, get all of you to jump in and kind of tell us where your feedback is. If you found problems with different combinations, let us know. It's a really good opportunity for us to kind of refine that before we release the feature out to everyone. Matt, is there any words you want to mention on Formation Designer?
Formation designer is just opens up so many possibilities because you can make your formations and then use them in free roam, use them in your custom scenarios. It's really opens up a lot more of what you can do in scenario planner, and obviously free roam takes another notch up with this as well. But as you say, the real challenge there is that because the level of simulation of the connectivity between vehicles is quite realistic. The electrical connectivity down to the pinouts on the plugs and sockets, the air hose, whether they're a vacuum brake, air brake, the types of couplings, things like that. All of these things matter. And we think the system is in place to make it intuitive. It should only allow matching things to work together. But what we need is for everyone to try doing things and tell us what you find works, what doesn't work, what could work better. If you try something that wouldn't work in reality, I wouldn't expect it to work here. So, as I see how you get on with that. But there's some really fun stuff that you can do with it. The beta testers have already been having some fun making the crazy wacky things up with it, which is really cool.
We'll have bespoke feedback dedicated channels for all of that conversation to happen on our forums primarily because it's the best area for us and our teams to look at. But we'll be also hosting this in some community spaces as well, such as the Train Sim World community Discord. So yeah, get involved. If you can, again, if you're a Steam user, get involved with that open beta and let us know how you find the feature. And that's it. That's the pre-spiel before the big announcements. So, who's ready to hear about what's coming up in the next few months for Train Sim World? Right, so this announcement is coming at you from the UK and it's fully licensed by TfL. Matt, what could I be talking about?
Yeah, this time we are heading to do the London Overground. Been keen to do the London Overground for so long. And this is actually a really great opportunity. So this is Gospel Oak to Barking Riverside line. And it'll be featuring the epic new Class 710/2 Aventra electric multiple unit trains. So prior to aside from on a short spell with the Capital Star 378s, it was run predominantly by 172 DMUs. So running this train with a four-car, ultra modern Class 710s is a real treat. They're such a cool looking train and they're really great fun to drive as well. So we look. It's not a long route, but it's going to be a really packed route. It's going to be really interesting throughout. And obviously you've got dense scenery and you've got the London skyline there in the background. So 13 miles, 13 stations. All really highly detailed, lots to explore in the route, and yeah, you're going to have. It's going to be quite an interesting, shorter experience, but it's also going to be really fun and packed in that time frame.
And naturally, we do have a route map we can jump over to. So here you are, the London Overground, Gospel Oak to Barking Riverside, as Matt has mentioned. And yeah, is there anything of note with all the different branches coming off?
Well, it's as you can see, it crisscrosses all over the place with all sorts of different railway lines, including the Great Eastern Main Line, and obviously you've got the route extended now from previous incarnations of this line, where it used to end at Barking, which is station 12 on this line. It now goes down to station 13 there, which is Barking Riverside. So that's just how up to date and current this route is for the to the prototype. So, but yeah, there's so much to see. You're constantly crisscrossing, stopping, starting. It's very interesting. There's always something to see out of that cab window.
Yeah, and for those of you that were keen-eyed as our teasers over the kind of winter break, you might have known that was coming. You might have had an inkling, but we did have another big route teaser, and it wasn't a UK route that time. It was a German route, and this is a German route with an Austrian border crossing. So, Matt, where is this? Where are we heading now?
So we're going to Bahnstrecke Rosenheim Salzburg. So this is crossing from Germany to Austria, which Lucas actually hinted at way back in the TSW4 Dovetail Direct. He talked about there being possibly another a border crossing route.
Yeah.
Welcome to another border crossing route. We are back crossing the border again between here at Freilassing and Salzburg. So yes, you've got this route also comes with a train I've been looking forward to seeing in the game, actually, the BR111, which is a tap changer control loco. which you operate manually and semi-automatic. It's quite an interesting control system. It's a little bit different to a lot of the other ones. Yeah, so it's a fascinating run. 89 kilometers, so there's a fair distance to cover, 13 stations. So it's a decent length route. So, you're going to get a good stretch of, managing your speed up at line speeds, potentially looking at signals going, because there's a lot of traffic on this route, with different layers and so forth coming in. There's other stock that's coming with the package as well from some of the previous add-ons, so that you can do freight and so forth on the line as well. But yeah, you've got such a varied hilly countryside. It's not a flat route. You've got the mountains in the distance, and yeah, and the scenery change, particularly as you cross over the border, which is just another innocuous little bridge, like it was on the Vorarlberg line actually as well. So it's quite interesting. But here you go, you've got the map here as you brought up here, and you can see the winding route again. Not a straight route, not a flat route. You're gonna have to keep paying attention to what you're doing, and tap changer locos always make that job a little harder.
Yeah, and I was told that there should be some better layering opportunities with this as well.
Yeah, there should be. You should be able to see a wide variety of trains on the line doing different things. You can see the 111 here in the screenshot. It's got the Dostos behind it, but you'll see a variety of other traffic on the line as well.
Brilliant. Right, well, those are the routes we teased. Obviously, we did have another teaser, but we'll kind of come on to that with some of our other third-party announcements a little later on. As we're sticking to first-party, we've got something new. We've got something for US players to get interested about. So, this is the second Metrolink route that we're going to be doing after the Antelope Valley line. Matt, spill the beans.
So this is the San Bernardino line. So this is starting from Los Angeles again, same as Antelope Valley did, but instead of going north, we're going east. It's not the same as Antelope Valley. It's amazing how different it is. Whereas Antelope Valley was kind of very quickly goes out into the countryside and is about the gradients and so forth. This one is more densely packed. It's got more stations on it. It's got 16 stations in a 57-mile route. So it's a shorter route than Antelope Valley, but more stations on there. But this time you're staying entirely in the busy section. This is just all busy area. And so yeah, again, you got to manage your train, manage your speed. There's some really interesting sections on this route where you're highway running in the middle of a massive highway as well, which it is just weird, frankly. But it's super cool. Train wise, so in addition to the AF125s that come with the Antelope Valley line, this route also comes with the MP36, which Metrolink run. It's kind of the staple trains. They run two trains predominantly, which is the MP36s and the F125. So this is the Metrolink MP36 with a mix actually, because in modern times Metrolink run a hybrid of the Rotem cars and the Bombardier cars. With the Rotems generally forming a bracket either side of the train and bomb cars in the middle. So that's kind of the sort of the slightly odd looking formations that you're going to be seeing on this route, and then it will layer in the F125 as an additional option that you can run along the route as well. So with that, it kind of gives you pretty much between the two routes, you get primarily the main stock roster from Metrolink as well, with the two coach sets and the two trains. So yeah, it's a really interesting run, really different. As you can see on the map here, it's a relatively straight run. Yeah, with these big American diesels, obviously they're quite different to your German and European multiple units, which have got quite fast responses and so forth. So this is another really fun drive.
And you can see there's the 16 stations which go from obviously Los Angeles down to or across to San Bernardino downtown. And I was told, yes, you do have the kind of highways and back gardens east and west of out of LA.
It's
And
really odd. You see videos of these trains. They look like because they're slightly different height than the highway itself. Not a lot, but a little bit. It almost looks like for a little bit they're on the road, which because they're right in the middle. They're not. If you get close to them, they're quite separate. But it just looks really odd. It's just an experience like I've not seen before, really. So yeah, it's only relatively brief, but it's a real highlight of the run.
And you can see if you look on the map at the left hand side and right hand side again, you've got that Antelope Valley line and the Cajon Pass link there. So this really is the kind of link between those two routes. And so you have this kind of massive stretch that you can kind of cover if you kind of combine all three routes in one go.
Yeah, if you want to take a journey from Lancaster down to Los Angeles and then change to this route and drive over to San Bernardino and then change to Cajon Pass and drive a freight train up the Cajon Pass, that keep you busy for a couple of hours, 3 hours, 10 hours.
Right, let's move on. We're going to be going back to a favorite of ours, which has been the Austrian routes. And this time we're staying only in Austria with a new route, a new announcement, which is Semmeringbahn, Wiener Neustadt to Mürzzuschlag. And I really wanted to say that because I've been trying to pronounce that as best I can for the last couple hours. So I hope I did it all right. But Matt, what can you tell us about this amazing route?
Oh my, it's just really popular in Train Sim Classic. Train Sim Classic's version was Mürzzuschlag to Glognitz, if I remember rightly, which captured the sort of it's a really steep gradient, and effectively it's kind of like up one side up to Semmering at the top, and then down the other side. What we've done on this route is extend it to Wiener Neustadt as a more notable end point for the route in the north, and then you'll be running the trains up and down the line. So this is using a combination of the OBB 1116 with BMZ coaches, and then the 4024 running the commuter services on there. So you've got quite a broad range of traffic going on the route. But it's a real this one's a real driver's challenge, particularly with something like the 1116, because the gradients are steep. They're notable, and the journey is going to keep you busy. There's quite a lot of stations, 17 stations on the route. So the obviously the 1116 is not going to be stopping at too many of those stations, but the 4024 certainly is. So yeah, managing those gradients and while you're trying not to be distracted by some of the most spectacular scenery you'll see in the game is really interesting.
And I've got a note here that this is the world's first true mountain railway.
Yes, the claim to fame on Wikipedia.
But obviously you've got as you've kind of like as you can kind of see it on our route map here. The left hand side of this, you've got that mountainous kind of railway. You've got the steeper gradients, and then on the kind of right hand side, more towards the top right, it's much straighter. It levels out, and then you have that racetrack. So you kind of have two different driving styles.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, but also between the two trains and the way that the different things you do with the two trains. Obviously, driving 1116 is very different to driving a 4024. Then the route's got a lot of replayability. You'll be redoing lots of things on there, and you just come back for the sights and the sounds. It's got some of the most spectacular viaducts and so forth that you can imagine on the railways over here. So yeah, it's one to enjoy.
Well, we're looking forward to sharing more on this, but for now, we're going to jump into some of our third-party announcements. So let's go talk about what we have coming up from some of our partners. So to start from our third-party selection of announcements, here is something that we teased a little bit over the Christmas break, and that's coming from Simtrack Studios, and that is the BR Class 104 and Peak Forest Expansion Pack. So Matt, tell us more about it.
This one is one I'm really looking forward to. The BR Class 104 was going to be the second first generation DMU in the game, Class 101 being the other one. So it's really cool to get another first generation DMU because those are kind of my favorites. And I know a lot of people really enjoy the Class 101. So this is kind of more of that flavor of action in BR Green as well. So that's very cool. The BR Green Class 104 is used for a variety of different things, but I think one of the main things is the Buxton Shuttle, which is a key service pattern missing from the Peak Forest timetable. So it kind of fills that run out as well. But the other thing is that the team at Simtrack Studios have gone up over the timetable and they've extended some things, changed some things, added a bunch of stuff. As well as they're bringing in two new wagons with this package as well, the 21-ton hopper and a cough-up wagon. So it represents quite a level up for the Peak Forest route. So all you Peak Forest fans out there, this is a must buy purchase to extend your route. And if you've been holding off on Peak Forest because hey, you're not sure about the steam engines, let's get some proper diesels running on the route, and you can enjoy that as well. So this is really hopefully going to make the route more interesting. It's a beautiful route, really is. But I think maybe in some cases the steam has maybe challenged people, and they want to run it with diesels instead. Well, the BR Class 104 is tremendous. It's quite different to look at to a Class 101 in the way that the front of the loco works. It's quite distinguishing. Yeah, this is a pack I'm really looking forward to. I know Simtrack Studios are working really hard.
And on screen at the moment, you can see some kind of work in progress renders of the BR Class 104 as well. But we look forward to show you more about this pack, go into a bit more detail of it when we're ready and when we're closer to the time. But let's jump over to another partner that's been working hard, and that's Skyhook Games. And they're bringing us a familiar name, but with a second volume. What could that mean? Well, we're coming in with Cargo Line Volume 2 Aggregates pack. So, Matt, this is kind of following on from the first Cargo Line pack they did.
Yeah, so following on from Volume 1, which was the petroleum pack, the Volume 2 is looking at aggregates, and that this pack includes the HOA aggregate wagon. And then the team have been adding realistic operations on the MML and Great Western routes. So it's gameplay pack, it's an additional wagon, it's just more gameplay, new ways to enjoy your favorite routes. This is a really cool idea. I know Cargo Line Volume 1 was well received, and this is yeah, the next step in that journey.
And we saw a lot of people saying that again, like the Cargo Line pack was really great to just add in that variety. So from kind
It
of a kind of
is. These little packs when they add like a new wagon and they add some new things to do, it just means people you can go back with a fresh experience on your favorite routes, and it's that's always something nice rather than going back and doing the same thing that you've done before, which is great. But being able to go back to your favorite routes with to do something new is it makes the whole thing feel new again, doesn't it? And it also means that it's going to add additional AI traffic, so that when you are going back and doing the things you've done before, there's more to see now than there was before. So it's a bonus in every way, really.
well, look forward to an update from Skyhook for more on the Cargo Line Volume 2 pack soon. But we've got an update from our friends at Rivet Games. Well, we've been running in circles trying to figure out how to tease this next route. I think Matt's laughter is hinting at something now. So we're going to throw a teaser up on the screen now for this new route. And as you can see here, we've got a couple things. We've got a board at Edinburgh Waverley Station. We got a 158 Sprinter on the side there. And is that different text on the boards? What could we be talking about?
So Rivet's next route is a Fife Circle line, Edinburgh to Kirkcaldy and Dunfermline, and there's a couple of cool points to just call out on this one. It's a little ways off, so it's there's what little to show you on this one yet, but the Class 170 DMU. So looking forward to seeing that in the game. It's such a staple that exists throughout the UK railway network. And Rivet are going to be bringing us the Class 170 to the simulation, and then one of the most iconic assets, visuals that you see in the railways is the fourth rail bridge, and the Five Circle line will be bringing you the ability to drive over the fourth rail bridge and capture just some stunning screenshots of this just magnificent bridge. So yeah, it's just going to be a really exciting route to enjoy with lots to do on it. And of course, Skyhook have been working with Rivet on this one as well to bring another DLC from there to their depot of collection, and that's the taking the BL Class 158 and bringing it into the Scotrail livery as well. So between the two developers there across a couple of packs, you're going to have a whole Scotrail collection of trains there to add to your collection.
Oh, fantastic. And again, we'll hear more from River Games and we'll share more in upcoming monthly roadmaps as well. So on to our final new announcement for the evening for you tonight from our third parties. We are going somewhere new, somewhere we haven't been before in Train Sim World, and it will be Union Workshop who are taking us there, and they're taking us to Japan. Matt, where are we going? What is this?
We're going to the well-known Tadami line, so AizuWakamatsu to Tadami, and so this is a route that Union Workshop did previously in Train Sim Classic, and they've been working hard now for quite some time, getting them to understand the Train Sim World tooling, and they are now rapidly homing in on their first release, which will be the Tadami line. So yeah, very different, and as you can see from screenshots, it captures the Union Workshop, have a very unique style. When you're looking at a route developed by Union Workshop, there's just a very unique style to them, and they always fill out their scenes with so much detail. They're just beautiful to look at. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting to go to Japan and take a train ride with Union Workshop.
Yeah, and of course, this is very early in development. We're talking about quite a lot of announcements here, so I think it's worth caveating that a lot of the things we've talked about will be in different stages of that kind of development process. But we will share more in our monthly roadmaps. We'll keep you updated on the timelines for the different routes. And to kind of close off, we've got a list here that I want to read out for some of the other third parties that we're working with, some of the ones we've named tonight, but others that we haven't. And so these are the ones we're working with for upcoming routes in the next kind of 6 to 9 months. We've got River Games, Skyhook Games, Simtrack Studios, Luminaries, Alan Thompson Sim, Jess Trains, Rail Traction, Train Motion, Train Sim Germany, Union Workshop, of course, with the Tadami line, Ticket to the North, Halicon Media, and RSSLO. So loads of different things. And again, the editor kind of plays into bringing more of those third parties into the ecosystem, getting more routes for Train Sim World. It's an amazing looking future and a great way to start the year. So lots to do, lots of stuff coming up, loads of things to talk about. I hope you're excited. It's a really great time to kind of be involved in the Train Sim World space. So on that, we have our Train Sim World monthly roadmap coming out when this stream ends. So probably in about another half an hour or so after we have our other announcements as well. We'll be sharing all of the images, all of the different clips we had in that roadmap. You can have those details and you can kind of continue the conversation on the forums, in the community spaces, and kind of get excited about all the stuff coming up. For now, I'm going to be handing over to Jamie, who has an update for all of the things coming out for Train Sim Classic, and they have a bunch of new announcements they want to talk about for the content coming up in the next few months.
Hello everyone, and we are here to announce some really interesting things coming to TSC, and I am joined by someone who you might not have seen before. I'm pointing the wrong way. Is Simon. Simon, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, Jamie. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. I'm Simon, and I'm responsible for publishing third-party add-ons for Trams and Classic. In a nutshell, that is my day job, and sometimes my evening job as well. I've been working now for a good few years with some of the primo developers for TS Classic. There's a great development community out there, and they just seem to get better and more inventive with what they bring to us.
Fantastic. Yep. Well, I suppose we better get into the goodness that is what we've got coming up. So we'll have some screenshots as well going through, and what we'll do is someone's going to go through some of the information about locomotives and routes. First of all, we're off to the USA, and we're going to start with a steam locomotive from 1893. And here it is, the Empire State. So Simon, tell us a bit about it.
The Empire State Express, loco constructed in 1893, as you can see on the slide there, at West Albany Shops, I believe I'm right in saying. So yeah, we're starting at the start, you could say, back in 1893 with this. This is coming to us from Machine Rail, who you may have seen on Steam before. They started off with us with the DSP&P Mogul, I believe, yes, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Which you may even have streamed, Jamie. I'm not sure.
I think I might have done. I'm sure. I'm sure I would have done a video of it for sure. Yeah.
Yes, it seems like it would be up your street to me. So yeah, this is from Machine Rail. We're based down in Brazil. Very, very good developers, very capable, and they produce some really unusual and rather unique loco add-on. So, like I say, this is the 1893 Empire State Express pack, including the 440 loco that you're seeing on your screen there with the tender. Also comes with a nice set of passenger cars. So it comes with a parlour car, open and closed versions of the combine car, and an observation car.
Brilliant.
So you've got the full train there, the full rake of coaches and the loco. Scenarios are actually still in development for this one. It seems likely that it's going to land on Boston and Albany, but that's to be confirmed at a later date.
Fantastic. Yeah, I must admit, it's a very impressive loco. And the size of those driving wheels, they're huge. Look at the size of them.
Very much of its time. You can't mistake it for anything else.
No, definitely not. So I suppose we'll move on to our next one. So our next one is actually coming to the UK. And this one is Buchan Lines. So tell us about this.
Yes, a bit of a change of scene with this one. This is a route with locos and rolling stock included, and we're going further north to Scotland, Aberdeenshire to be precise, and going back in time a little, though not as far as with the Empire Express. We're going back to the 1960s and the end of steam on the British main line, and the sort of the swan song of a lot of smaller routes in the UK as well. And this being one of them, didn't go on for a lot longer after this, sadly, and is now closed. So this the Buchan Lines takes you from Dice, which is part of Aberdeen, and takes you up the main line as far as Peterhead and Fraserburgh. So it splits up. You can go all the way up to Fraserburgh, I should say, in the north, or take the branch across to Peterhead. Nice selection of rolling stock with this one. It'll come with a standard class 2MT steam loco, which would still have been soldering on in those days. You get a class 105 DMU. You get a class 25, which I think would have been ubiquitous across Scotland in those days. And a class 08 shunter to do your yard work and sort your passenger trains out for you. So a very characterful route, and you may have seen in one of the screenshots here that's been on rotation. One of my favourite landmarks on this actually is a curling pond, which I'm going to bet you won't see on any other TS route. Although if I'm wrong, obviously comment and let us know about that. But yeah. I'm bound to be wrong about that. But we don't regularly have curling ponds in TS routes, and that is at Aggregates. Apologies if I'm mangling that pronunciation. I bet it's an unusual little feature. There are many stations, most of them custom modelled for this route.
Wow.
All of which actually are closed now, some of which are lived in. But yes, it's a nice bit of character to it. It captures the landscape and the feeling of that part of Scotland in that time of day when things were beginning to wind down rather a lot.
Yes, yeah. I think it's a route I'm certainly going to enjoy. Certainly something different. It's lovely. It does look really impressive.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting route to drive because of the variety of operations you've got. Because we're going back to a point here where freight hadn't transformed into the multimodal monster that it is now. So there's pickup goods and this kind of thing going on there. And another point of interest actually is Maud Station, which is now, the buildings are still there, and now the home of the Maud Railway Museum. So if you're in the neighbourhood, you can go there and find out more about how the route was.
Fantastic. Right, so we've gone halfway across the world, but I think we're going to go halfway across the world again, because we're off to China and the China Railways HXD1. So tell us about this.
Yeah, complete change of pace from what we've just been looking at. Modern heavy freight loco from China, electric powered, running on the very popular Southwest China high-speed network in TS Classic, also with scenarios for the Longhai Railway. So you actually get scenarios for two different routes with this pack, which is pretty cool. Apparently, some elements of this are based on the Euro Sprinter loco platform, which might be more familiar to some of you. I think I'm right about that. Again, if I've got that wrong, I'm sure you'll let us know about it. But yeah, this comes with a nice selection of rolling stock as well. So you've got a gondola car, various freight wagons, oil tankers too. So nice bit of working for you to get through there.
Yeah, definitely, and it's certainly something different. You know, if you want on the high speed, you know, you've got a slower pace. Sorry, for things like that. So yeah, it does look a very impressive locomotive, definitely. Right, so our next, we're back to the US, and something a little bit different. Is the Feather Rhythm Canyon, and it's been enhanced. So yeah, I think it's one of our first enhanced routes, isn't it? I think that's come, but yeah, it's certainly something different.
That's right, Jamie. Yeah, what's happening? Yeah, I'm sure many of you guys out there who are into US routes will be aware of the existing Feather River Canyon route in TS Classic. You may well have picked it up at some point. What we have here is an extended version, like enhanced version, I should say. So this addresses a couple of the issues that were fed back to us with the original version of the route that came out a few years ago, which were, in a nutshell, it wasn't long enough. It stopped in the wrong place, and that the selection of traction types and rolling stock included just wasn't broad enough. The trains, the AI there just didn't paint a picture of what the line would really be like. This addresses both those concerns with not only more route mileage but more stuff included too. So this goes from an additional 34 sections from Quincy to Portola, which includes the Clio Trestle and Williams Loop. And there are a lot of line side industries and things to generate work for the line, which you can obviously use in the scenarios. You've also got a good roster of traction on this one, good roster of locos. You've got the EMD F7, SW9, GP40-2, U30B, and EMD GP35. And there are various different liveries. You can see them scrolling around in the slides there. It's full of colour, full of variety. I think it'll really capture the essence of what that route was back in the day.
Yeah, so it's nice to see, and I must admit the liveries look fantastic, and even the feather. You got a feather on the side of the Western Pacific on the box cars there. It really will be an interesting route, and the colours are very different as well.
Yeah, they are. I think it's looking really good. As ever, these are in production, in development screenshots, but it is looking very, very good. Just to let you know that this can be wishlisted on the Steam store. So this essentially comes out to buy in a couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
And there is a special deal on offer for people who own the original Feather River route as well.
Brilliant.
So lots to look forward to there.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, we're going back to Europe now. And something again, a different change in pace. And this is Ringbahn Berlin Circle. Now, yes, we've had quite a few subway sort of routes, haven't we, recently from Germany? So, yeah, tell us about this. This looks brilliant.
Well, yeah, going on from what you said there, Jamie, it's very popular. Metro urban transit generally does seem to be very popular with you folks out there, and Germany being no exception. So, yeah, this takes us back to Berlin. You may remember, this is by Virtual Tracks, by the way, the Berlin Circle route. And you may remember an earlier route of theirs which came to Steam, which was the Heart of Berlin S25 route.
Yes.
Which again, Jamie, I'm pretty sure you streamed back in the day for us.
I have, yeah. I think I've streamed it more than once as well. It's a really good route. Yeah,
I don't blame you, and I think Ringbahn really follows in its footsteps. You get a class 483 to drive. And various there are other AI trains in there as well. So it's rich in character. It seems full of life. It seems like things are really happening around you. You've got mainline and S-Bahn stuff running around at the same time as well. Looking really, really good, and it's got that Berlin city vibe going on as well. Mm-hmm. So coming your way very soon. I think it's going to be very popular, this one.
Yes. I mean, it definitely looks. It definitely looks a really good fun route to have a go on. Right. We are back And for our last, back to the USA for our last sort of announcement. Here we go. It's called the Tennessee Pass. Look at that loco there. There's some these. This looks a very very impressive route with a lot of different traction as well.
Yes, I mean this is again going back really towards the decline of steam on US railroads, set around 1950 or 1 or 2 years either side of that, and based around the Tennessee Pass in Colorado, running from Minturn to Buena Vista. Again, I hope I'm getting those names something like right. Also includes the branch over to Leadville. I think you also see the Eagle River mine in there when you're driving along as well, which is pretty cool. This is one that I think is going to challenge a few of you because you've got diesel traction in there, which is cool. You've got a couple of diesel locos in there to go at, or to use, I should say. But also you've got the Denver and Rio Grande class L31 2882 steam loco, which is a real beast for sure. But I think getting up the 3% grade, which is just the other side of Minton on the way out to the summit there, is still going to be quite a challenge for you.
Definitely. Yeah, it does look an absolute beast of an engine. And yeah, there's a lot of things coming steam way for people to enjoy. And I must admit, I'm certainly going to enjoy playing with this for sure.
It's going to be a good one. You've got, like I say, a good roster of locos. A lot of rolling stock in this one too.
Yeah.
And an awesome grade to get over.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for joining us and going through all the different routes and things. It's
pleasure.
Yeah, hopefully we can get you on some streams in the future. It would be good to have you on.
Absolutely, that'll be fun. Yes.
So yeah, on to the next section in your festival rail. We'll see you all in the next TSC stream. See you all soon. Bye.
Hello everyone and welcome to the City Transport Sim section of the Dovetail Games Festival of Rail. You just saw the first teaser trailer that we showed you a while ago for City Transport Sim, which is now also available to wishlist on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox and Epic Games Store. So make sure to put it on your wishlist so you're notified whenever it's available for purchase. I'm joined today by Eddie, our brand manager.
Hello.
And Daniel Markovic, View Apps, community and marketing manager.
Hi all.
So we've seen things that we know already. We're going to talk about the things that we that you might have seen before, either in teaser trailers or in View Apps pick of the week. But we're also gonna give you a little tiny teaser trailer for things to come, so stick around to the end. But for now, let's talk about Tramau. Let's talk about the city. What can we expect, Daniel?
So Tramau is kind of our city. It's our vision of a transport-friendly city in the south of Germany. And the coolest thing about it is it's just really green. It's very modern, and it's our biggest line network yet.
It's very nice. If you're following View App on socials or on the Discord channel, you've already gotten some sneak peek looks at the Grand Cathedral, for example, which looks very nice. I gotta say, was very impressed when I saw it, and a big background story as well for Tramau. So it feels like a real city.
Yeah, exactly. We've put in a lot of effort to make the city feel as real as possible. As you've said, in the pick of the weeks, we've already showed like the mall and the cathedral and the story behind them, how they came to be in that city, how they were created, and in which style they were created as well. We put a lot of effort into researching different styles of buildings and all that kind of things. So yeah, the city looks really, really amazing, and I'm very excited and happy for it.
Awesome. The game also comes with a few exciting features. For example, the ability to make your own lines. What can you tell us about that?
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of part of our new career mode, so a progression mode in a sense, where you can gain experience by transporting passengers. So kind of like the Trams and points we've had back then, but now you can actually build up your vehicle fleet and expand your network as well. So you can expand your line network and also create your own lines by choosing from the various stations throughout the city and generate timetables as well.
But Daniel, if someone is like me out there who isn't very good at the old tram simulation side of things, what do you have in store for me, for the likes of me?
Yeah, so we really noticed, and we know it as well, that the tram is a pretty complicated vehicle.
Mm.
So the first idea we've had when brainstorming for CTS was we need a easy play mode. So kind of like simplifying the controls, making it more accessible for players who have never played any tram game. And that's what we accomplished with that as well. So we still have the realistic controls. The tram is extremely realistic, even more realistic than previous games. But we've also made an easy play mode for people to just hop in the tram and play in like 2 minutes or something.
Yeah, and hopefully, if I stick at easy play mode for a while, then eventually I might become a pro and be able to ditch off the old easy play mode and count myself as one of the elite.
Let's talk about the trams in the game. They have been all made from scratch, new for city transport sim. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah, we basically took the experience we gotten from the previous games and completely remade them functionally as well as visually. It's been really tough for a team, but it's been very nice seeing the trams and like going really up close to them and just seeing how detailed they are. For now, we have the Ulf tram from Vienna, the ultra low floor, a really classic tram that a lot of people really, really love. And also the R22B from Munich. So the kind of the blue tram that's also really captivated a lot of people and it's really nice. I also love driving it as well. But yeah, we kind of revealed a third one in a sense, like half revealed it in the teaser because delivery back then wasn't quite finished. So we thought, okay, let's just have people guess which one it is without having delivery there. And a few people did guess it correctly, but I think we could now reveal it, which tram it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's show that sneaky reveal trailer. All right, that was a first look at the Stadtregiotram, or as we also like to call it, the SRT. What can you tell us about it, Daniel?
So yeah, the Stadtregiotram, we're really proud and really so happy to finally bring it into the game. It's originally from Gmunden in Austria. The cool thing about that is that it's a bi-directional tram, so you have cockpits on both sides and can drive it from both sides. It's honestly been one of my favorite trams, and I'm really, really happy that we can finally reveal it and finally talk about it. It's an amazing modern tram with a touchscreen display. I don't think I've seen that yet in a tram that I've been in and I've driven, but that one was really cool. The thing is with those trams, with the trams that we are bringing into CTS tram, is we're bringing them with two liveries kind of. So we obviously want to bring in the original livery for the R2B and now for the Stadtregiotram, but we also kind of wanted them to match each other and also the city itself. So we made an original Tramau livery, which is the green livery you've seen in some screenshots. But yeah, the original livery for the Stadtregiotram was made in cooperation with Stern and Hafwald, who have been so nice, so amazing, and helped us a lot with researching the tram. We even were invited to research the tram in Gmunden, so we were able to go in, film videos, record sounds, make hundreds and hundreds of pictures. We made a full SD card of just pictures and all that kind of stuff to really, really research it. They also answered all of our questions, no matter how like deep diving the questions were. They knew exactly what and how to say really everything. And yeah, ever since then, it's been not just one of, it's been probably my favorite tram. And I really love that we've finally been adding it to CTS tram.
You can tell a lot of hard work went into it as well. It does look really, really slick. Like my favorite tram was the OFA. Yeah, I loved how it looked like it floats, but yeah, SRT is quickly outpacing the old for me. Yeah, I can't wait to give it a shot.
And then, as you can see from the screenshots that are currently floating by in the background, a lot of detail that went into it. But yes, this is all we have to show for CTS so far. I'm going to switch back to the webcam so we can say goodbye to all the good people watching us right now. Thanks again for tuning in. CTS is now available to wishlist on all platforms. Make sure to do so if what you just saw was to your liking. Make sure to follow ViewApp on their social channels so you don't miss any of their pick of the week. Where can people find you, Daniel?
Yeah, all sorts of social medias. We do have a community Discord where you can talk with the developers directly about all things tram. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. On ViewApp or Tram Simulation, we're pretty easy to find nowadays. So just give us a follow.
And that's everything from us. So thank you very much indeed for sticking with us. And as we discussed, City Transport Simulator Tram. But stay tuned because we still have some more cool stuff, Festival of Rail related, right after this.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hello, I'm Benjamin, Senior Community Manager here at Dovetail Games, and I'm here to talk to you today about CATAN Console Edition. I'm going to give you an exclusive look at our huge upcoming release, Cities and Nights. The expansion everyone's been waiting for is finally coming to CATAN Console Edition on February 21st. But first, for those of you who are maybe new to this word CATAN, what is CATAN? You might have guessed, but CATAN was originally a board game designed by Klaus Tuber in 1995. Since then, it's gone on to sell more than 40 million copies, which is not a small number. CATAN at its core is a strategy, building, and resource management game with the added twist of needing to work with and cooperate with your fellow settlers, Catanians, and competitors, and trade, work together a little bit with a view to you winning the game. And that's where we come in with Catan Console Edition, a true to the original experience but on a board that comes to life. It's available to play on Xbox consoles, PlayStation consoles, and very recently, Nintendo Switch. Welcome to the gang, Switch players. There's loads of ways to play and experience Catan Console Edition, whether you fancy just jumping in and playing a quick game against the AI, or maybe you've got some friends and family over and you want to sit around the couch and play together on the one TV. You can do that. We have a card companion app that you have on your phone, which keeps your little secrets and your resources hidden from your competitors. Or if you want to jump in and play online against some strangers, you can do that too. And it's crossplay, so you can play against anyone you like on any of the consoles. Since the launch of Catan Console Edition, we've been busy too. We kicked off with our first small extension for Catan Console Edition in the shape of the Helpers, which adds 12 new, very helpful characters to the game, each providing their own special ability and adding a little bit more spice to the game. Followed up by our Season Pass, which has a whole bunch of stuff in it, starting off with Reap and Sow, which is our full content pack, which brought spooky music, pumpkins, and all the joys of autumn to the game. Ice and Snow, you may be gathering that there may be a gist to this, brought some new seasonal festive music to the game, snow, ice, and narwhals. The Season Pass also includes Cities and Nights, which, as I mentioned before, is releasing on February 21st, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. And our final of the trilogy of seasonal content in the shape of Bloom and Grow, which will bring our spring content pack. When purchasing the Season Pass, you will gain instant access to everything that has been released in that Season Pass so far. And depending on at what point in the future you're watching this, you may well get access to everything immediately. So let's talk about the big one. Cities and Nights, one of the most popular and anticipated expansions to Catan Console Edition, is finally coming on February 21st. Barbarians are attacking and you've got knights. Cities and Nights provides a drastically new way to experience Catan Console Edition. And I'm super excited that you'll be the first to see the brand new trailer for Catan Console Edition, Cities and Nights. And there it is, we hope you are as excited as we are. So for the final time, Catan Console Edition Cities and Nights is releasing on all platforms on February 21st. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today, and if you are interested in finding out any more about Catan Console Edition, you can head over to CatanConsoleEdition.com or any of our social channels at DTG Board Games. And that's it from me. Back to you, Alex and Matt.
Thank you, Ben, for passing back to us. And that will pretty much wrap up what we have tonight. What we're going to do is throw up a graphic on screen, which you should see now. And this is a summary of all of the announcements that we've had tonight across Train Sim World, Train Sim Classic, City Transport Simulator Trams, and Catan Console Edition. Now, we hope you've had a really good night. We talked about a lot of stuff that we've teased, a lot of stuff that's brand new. We hope you kind of get involved more in that kind of space as we go for the next few months. So expect more details for everything soon across all of our franchises. And if you want to know more and you want to stay in the loop, make sure to follow us on our socials. I'm not talking just Train Sim World socials, but Train Sim Classic, our City Transport Simulator, and Catan Console Edition as well, and continue the conversation in the community spaces. Of course, we have the forums, but there's also the Discords you can get involved with as well, as the various spaces that you will be aware of too. So for all the TSW fans, me and Matt, we're going to be back here live Tuesday night, so just a couple days from now, to have a live Q&A for the roadmap and a bit of a debrief down from all of the things we've talked about tonight. And Matt, it's been a real pleasure having you join us. So thank you for kind of talking more about all of our announcements.
No, thank you, Alex. It's been really good fun. There's a lot of cool stuff to share, and I've been enjoying listening to what's coming in the other franchises as well. So it's an exciting time.
It's a very exciting time, and we hope we hope you're all ready for the next few months. It's going to be really brilliant. But stay updated. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. That's it for Dovetail Direct.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.